Hey there! Today we're going to do a stretch and strength, working on all of our joint mobility and still working on bulking up those muscles for quicker cardio and everyday life. Alright, so we're going to start in a standing position, feet underneath your hips, strong shoulders, so roll those shoulders back, arms up to the sky, and then rolling through the back, hinging at the hips, keeping your legs close to straight, maybe a soft bend in the knees, reaching down towards your toes. You might touch the floor, you might touch your toes, you might touch your shins or knees. And then rolling your back up to standing again. Arms up to the sky. And again, hinging at the hips, coming down, reaching down towards the ground. Resting there for a minute, maybe taking your toes off the mat, pushing down through your heels. Soft bend in the knees again. All right, and then rolling back up. Perfect. Now we're going to do that one more time and we're going to stay at the bottom. So arms up to the sky, hinge through the hips, coming down to the bottom, letting those feet come to the, hands come to the mat. All right, now we're going to send our hips from one side to the other side. You're going to start to feel some lengthening sensations through the back of your body, perhaps in your calves, your hamstrings. And as you go side to side, the side that you're pointing towards is going to feel the stretch deepen. When you're ready, we're going to heel toe out just a wee bit. All right, so now our feet are wider than our hips, and we're going to deepen that stretch. So we're going to straighten one leg and bend the other knee, and then hover over to one side and just go back and forth, keeping your back nice and long again. Your tailbone is pointed out. Hands are maybe on the mat, maybe on your shins, maybe on your thighs, whatever feels good for you today. Now we're going to come to steady at the center here. All right, and we're going to send our hips down. So we're going to come into a low squat and again go side to side. Really working through those hips, feeling good, getting some nice mobility stretches in there. Today's exercise is going to be mainly dynamic stretches, so that means stretches while you're moving, not a whole lot of holding still. We're still going to work our muscles, but it's going to be a lot of feel good as well. So it's good to do on the same day you have a practice. Perfect. Now we're going to heel toe just a little bit in, come back into that deep squat. If you're able to get your heels on the ground, you can. If you're not, that's cool too. We're just going to take our right elbow, bring it over to our left knee, and just twist through here. You're going to feel this on the outside of your opposite hip. Might feel it through your back. If this hurts your back, you can opt out. And now to the other side. You can use your back hand for balance if you need, otherwise you can stick it on your hip. And 3, 2, 1, hands back to the center, sending your hips up and back, heel toe together till your feet are next to each other, zipped up through center, knees are touching each other, soft bend in the knees again, and rolling up. Beautiful. All right, once we're there, we are going to heel toe back out. All right, nice and wide till you're like, say 3 feet wide here. Left hand down left leg, right arm over, stretching through your whole side body here. Still coughing. All right, if you're not feeling a stretch here, you want to take the low hand and go lower. That should deepen the stretch. You can also widen your stance here. And now coming back up, and other side. As you sit in this stance, maybe you can get your hand just a little bit lower. Maybe you can't, all good. All right, back to center, arms up high, and hinging through the hips, not bending through the back, hinging through the hips. We're gonna come down and plant those hands on the ground. This one you should really be feeling in your hamstrings. possibly your glutes, lower back as well. All right, heel toe together and rolling back up. Sound effects make everything better. Roll those shoulders back nice and strong. Now we are going to take our weight, transfer it into one foot. So you're going to start pushing down into your one foot, lift your opposite knee up off the ground. All right, so you're focusing your weight into that one foot that's on the ground, tilting your hip out to the side and letting your foot, the base of your foot, come to rest where it may. It might be on your ankle, on your calf, all right, wherever works. If you need a little more balance, you can put your hands on your hips. You can also put the tongue to the roof of your mouth. One girl I know always pretended to hook a string and hold on to it. Whatever works for you. Here you want to make sure your core is as straight as possible, so you don't want to have your hip out. That makes me go off balance. You want to stay nice and sturdy through your center. So your whole obliques are working to keep you sturdy. And now we're going to let that foot release, come back to center and down. Now we're going to transfer our weight into our opposite foot. All right, for me it's my left, but you're looking at me, it probably looks like my right. We're going to bring our opposite knee up. Foot is activated, so you don't have a lazy foot, you've got an activated foot. Out to the side and bringing that foot somewhere on your leg. All right, it could be on your thigh. I can't show you that one because I can't get mine there, but it could be on your calf or your ankle. All right, it could just be touching the ground still. Whatever feels good for you, that's stretching. That's awesome. All right, you're working on opening up your hip flexors here. So your glutes are working, your hips are working to keep your balance here, as well as your obliques, obviously, to keep you sturdy and straight up. Beautiful. We're gonna let that foot hang straight again and releasing it down to the ground. Perfect. Arms up to the sky and hinging at the hips, keeping a straight back, coming back into a forward fold. Beautiful. Send those hips from one side to the other side, back to your first side and second side. Center. Now while our hands are still planted, we're going to bring one foot just forward so our big toe is touching our back heel. All right, now we're going to lighten the back foot. So you're going to take your heel off of the ground of your back foot. Most of your weight is in your front leg. And we're just going to come to a flat back position. All right, and send those hands back. All right, you can also have them out to your side like an airplane. You can have them back behind your hips. Here you're working your hamstring. All right, this isn't a feel-good one so much as a strengthening one. And when you're ready, we're gonna put our hands back down on the ground. Switch feet, so now your opposite foot is ahead. Lift that back heel, come to a flat back position, and arms either out to the side. They can also be ahead of you if you'd like, or back behind your hips. Wonderful. And 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Now we're going to do a walkout. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me better. All right, so we're going to have, you can do straight-legged or bent-legged. It's harder to do straight-leg. So we're going to do a walkout here, or an inchworm, you might know it as. I can tell my dog has been on my mat since I have last swept it. All right, I'm gonna hold this plank just for a few more seconds. And now we're gonna walk back up. Come up, raise those hands up to the sky, and back down again. We're gonna walk it out to a plank yet again. Okay, and this time we're gonna go onto our elbows for our plank. We're gonna bring our back body into as straight of a line as possible. And when you're ready, we're gonna just lift one of our feet using our glute up and down, up and down. Beautiful. All right, so you're using your glute to do this. You're attempting to keep your body as straight of a line as possible. 3 more, Last one. Beautiful. Feet together, knees wide apart, hips back, into child's pose for just a quick second. Now back into plank. All right, once you're there into your straight line, opposite leg up using the glute, and down, up, and down. All right, continue on, focusing on keeping your core engaged, your glutes doing the leg raise. Nice straight line. 3 more. 2. Last one. Beautiful. We're gonna roll over onto one side here. Used to call this ladies on a beach because this is how they all sat, laid, whatever. All right, we're gonna, if you're able, send this hip up to the sky. If you're not able, you can do it from this position as well, okay? So hand firmly planted, knee onto the mat, hip up or down. Then we're gonna go up, down, in, out. Up, down, in, out. I call these udinos, or up, down, in, out. Very fancy term. Perfect. Great job. If you're gassing out, you can let that hip come down to the ground, but continue doing the motion. 3 more. Last one. Perfect. All right, we're gonna roll onto our backs now. Okay, we're gonna do a single leg glute raise. So we're gonna plant our hands, squish our shoulder blades towards each other. Make sure our right knee is pointed straight up to the sky. Activate that left foot. Send your right heel into the ground. When you're ready, use your glutes to push up to the sky. All right, you've got your glutes activated, your core is engaged, your adductors, so your inner thighs, are pulling towards each other to keep your legs close together. Your shoulder blades are pulling towards each other, your chest is pushing up to the sky. 3, 2, 1, release. Opposite side, pull that heel into the ground. All right, when you're ready, send up to the sky. Sending your glutes as high as you can, but engaging your core so that your core isn't doing the work of sending up, your core is actually pulling down. It's like a world war inside your body. All right, keeping your adductors going, your heel that's touching the ground is pushing hard into the ground. Your toes can even be lifted. If you're feeling like this is easy, you can add some pulses in. And 3, 2, 1, release. Beautiful. We're gonna take one knee, bring it towards our body. All right, you can roll your ankle one way, roll it the other way, and stretch that foot long, opposite side. Pull that knee in, roll your ankle one way, and the other way. Amazing. All right, when you're ready, we're gonna get into side plank on side 2. We're gonna either have that hip up off the ground if you're able, or on the ground if that's where you're at today. Okay, hand on the hip. You can also have your hand over your head like this, loosey-goosey like. All right, up, down, in, out. Up, down, in, out. While we're doing this, you want to make sure that your shoulder is pointed straight to the sky. You're not hovered over. All right. What other tips can I give you about this one? Both glutes are fully engaged in this one, so if you're feeling your bottom glute hurt right now, or you're feeling it burn, that's because it already worked the other side. And now it's like, what? I'm doing more work? That's why. 2 more. Last one. Great job. Perfect. All right, we are gonna come into a plank position yet again. You can be on your wrists or on your elbows. Okay, and we're just gonna come back onto our calves, so stretching through our calves and forward. All right, pushing our calves up, and then we'll be more engaged through the shoulders, and then our shoulders are pushing back to our calves. Then you can feel those calves working. Couple times back and forth here. Beautiful. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. We'll come into a kneeling position. All right. We're gonna have our hands behind our back. Open up that chest towards the sky, stretching through our shoulder, armpit muscles. You can go a little side to side action here. All right, when you're ready, we're gonna lean back, lean back. All right, so we're gonna stretch through the quads here. You might be able to get down to your elbows. Some people can lay right flat back, I cannot. All right, as soon as you can start to feel the lengthening in your quads, you're good. Also, you'll feel the lengthening in your hip flexors here. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna come back onto our hands ahead. We're gonna go into downward dog, so sending our toes underneath, hips up and back, pedaling it out one leg and then the other. Bringing our hips level now, one foot up while our hips are level, underneath, across and over, into pigeon pose. All right, you can come up like this. You can come on your elbows, you can rest your head on your hands, whatever feels good. Wherever you can feel your glutes stretching out is amazing. And now we'll plant those hands again. Coming back into downward dog. Quick little pedal out. Keeping the hips level once again. Send our other foot up to the sky. Little ankle roll for fancy. Yes, because we're fancy. Underneath, over and across. Coming into pigeon on opposite side. And again, to whatever feels good. You can do high pigeon, low pigeon. You can look at your floors that really need to be cleaned tomorrow. And when you're ready, we're gonna just roll out of this one onto our sits bones. Take the heels of our feet, the soles of our feet and our heels. Touch them towards each other. Send our knees down towards the ground. Stretch through the back. Once again, through the inner thighs, through the hip flexors. All the good feels. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed today's stretch and strength, and see you again soon.